Hey YouTubers, just wanted to give you guys a quick update here again on my truck. So I recently got the power steering and everything working. It has a alternator and power steering pump relocation bracket on it. As you can see, let me spin it here. The air cleaner now, instead of going out this way, now it goes that way. So my alternator's here versus on the driver's side. And then the power steering pump moved up. So it still uses the Chevy power steering pump, which is great because Ford ones suck. I adapted, you can see a compression fitting there, to the Ford line. And then this is a one off of like an 05 Chevy Silverado. And then I made my own steering linkage there. It's a double GD joint, and then that's a 36 spline coupler to the stock Ford Ranger Sector. So these brackets, I bought them off of eBay. They're very nicely built. I mean, they're beautiful looking. But this bracket here, the company could do a better job. As you can see, there's a washer right there. So there's a spacer here. Sorry, my hand is like freaking out the camera. There's a spacer here, one down further, plus then the alternator bolts to the head. This little spacer right here needs to be, however thick that washer is, needs to add on to that. So if you take just the bracket, bolt the alternator and everything up to it, it sits too far back. So your belt runs off. Well, then I spaced it out and then I had it too far spaced. So that's the only complaint with the brackets. I guess there's one more. So in their directions, this is actually supposed to have a bolt going through it. I don't know if maybe some other Chevy pumps, that's what happens, but yeah, there's a little loose spacer here. So I don't know what their intentions are there, because this is actually threaded. I don't get why, but yeah. So other than that, I mean, the brackets were kind of spendy, which sucks because I bought another set of brackets off of eBay also, or no, them were off of Speedway, I believe. I think, I don't remember, but they were wherever they were from. They claimed that bracket would leave the alternator on this side, but it would move that pump up and in. I did that backwards, so it was in and up, and then the alternator would sit, somewhere in this general vicinity, which I was fine with, whatever. Yeah, my air cleaner would have still went out the other way and wouldn't really like the way it looked. But the way they say it moves it does not happen. It moves it in 1/4 of an inch and up maybe 1/4 of an inch. So that was a waste of money. So if anyone needs a bracket, a fancy looking LS bracket, I got one, hit me up. But other than that, yeah, so now I have power steering and everything. I got all the wiring and everything all hooked up. I did have to add about an eighth inch to a 1/4 inch on each motor mount to pick it up a little bit more, which in terms of doing that made it really tight to the firewall. But whatever, it's basically solid mounted. It's all polyurethane mount, so who cares? But other than that, that's a little bit I've done to it. Like I said, now the air cleaner goes out the different direction. I did also have to change my water pump. So this is the 2000 or 99 to 05 water pump, where the neck comes out at an angle, versus the old one, which I believe I got in the back here. The one I had on there, which was like an 07. So it actually comes out, straighter. So I had to get rid of that and go back to the other one, because if I use that bracket or that pump, it actually put the hose right against this, which, I mean, if it would have been off of it, it would have been fine. But I mean, it was smushing her pretty good. So yeah, I'm happy. It runs now and steers. So I got rid of the rack steering, which anybody would know rack isn't going to work with the I-beam suspension these things have. But my next plan is I'm going to shave this intake. Not this one, but another one I got. Shave the intake, get that done. I got to take the dry shaft to a dry shaft company in town here. It's called JM Driveline. My daughter and I did this too. Can you tell that the stripes don't match, or did she do a pretty good job? So yeah, the dry shaft is one thing, and then the other thing I got to do is these little 3-pod gauges are going to come out. The only one that's going to stay in there is going to be oil pressure. But I got a single pod. And I'm going to build some kind of center console there. And then we're also going to put in here, I got 2 lights. One's for a fan, one's for a check engine. And then I'm going to get like a vintage style radio to put in it. But the radio, whatever. My big goals that I want to get done, like I said, is these gauges, center console, and then 2 lights. And then the dry shaft, and I can drive it. So, yeah. It's coming along. Very slowly, but we're not quite to April yet, so I got a little bit of time to actually get it done. Still haven't decided yet if I'm going to put the slots back on it or if I'm going to leave these. Because if I put slots on it, I got to widen the box or do something because they rub. So, but yeah, that's my little update. If you guys like the video, hit that like button, share, subscribe. And let me know if there's some other kind of content I should be doing. So, thanks guys. Have a good night.